down on 4.
Out in Metairie yesterday, the Saints averted a coup d'etat with the announcement of a single selection. He's been called the next Gale Sayers. For Saints fans, they hope he's the first Reggie Bush, a savior for a team whose history is littered with bad luck. Welcome into a special edition of 4th Down on 4. I'm Scott Cody. We'll hit the Zurich Classic in just a bit. We start out tonight with the latest Heisman Trophy winner to call New Orleans home. Just as infamous as the 1999 draft was when the team traded all of their picks for Ricky Williams, this year's first-round selection was as promising. Reggie Bush, USC's do-it-all back, taken second overall by the Saints. The last time the Saints chose the second player in the draft, they landed Archie Manning. In the second round, the team picked up another safety in Roman Harper. He's a coach's son and an all-SEC performer from Alabama. In the fourth round, the Saints went big, really big. Jari Williams is 300-plus pounds. He attended D2 Bloomsburg on an academic scholarship. Rob Ninkovich, he's a defensive end with 2 touchdown catches during his 2 years at Purdue. 2 picks for the Saints in the 6th round. They land Mike Haas from Oregon State. He won't stretch the field, but he will definitely catch the ball, and he's very tough. Josh Lay, he addresses cornerback issues for the Saints. 2 picks again in the 7th round. Produce another huge offensive lineman and a hybrid receiver in Marquez Colston out of Hofstra. A few more pounds, and he could be a tight end. The Saints traded a couple of times this weekend. They did it in the 2nd round with Cleveland, dropping at 9 spots, and in the process acquiring center Jeff Fain. They also swapped spots in the 4th round with Philadelphia and claimed defensive tackle Hollis Tank Thomas. Tank spent his entire career in Philadelphia. He's an 11-year vet who played in 16 games last year for the Eagles. He's a 300-pound run stuffer. Hopefully, he'll stuff some plenty of runs for the Saints this year. He tallied 35 tackles last season. A 3-13 season can land you picks like Reggie Bush, but that moment of hope wouldn't have occurred without several moments of despair. Can Reggie Bush fill every hole that plagued the Saints in 2005? Jim Henderson has that answer.
In drafting Reggie Bush, the Saints got perhaps the most versatile offensive weapon that the college ranks have ever produced. His impact on the Saints should be considerable, especially when you consider what he brings to a team that has glaring needs in areas that he figures to improve. Last year as a team, the Saints rushed for 8 touchdowns in 16 games, tied for 28th in the league. Reggie Bush rushed for 16, twice that many in 13 games. The Saints were 2nd worst in the NFL in points per game. They had not a single touchdown returning the football in any fashion. Now, Reggie Bush won't return a fumble or an interception for a touchdown, won't kick a field goal or an extra point, won't tackle an opponent for a safety, but he can score points for you in every other way that the game allows. Because they had so little offense, they came from behind in the 4th quarter 1 time in those 11 games. That against the equally inept Jets, whom they trailed by only 2 points after 45 minutes and beat by 2 after scoring a lone 4th quarter touchdown. How often last season did you see the Saints on 3rd and short and 4th and short run the ball into the heart of the defense and come up short? The statistics say way too much. The Saints converted 39% of their 3rd down opportunities, 17th in the NFL. In converting on 4th down, the Saints were 32nd, worst in the league. And when you think you have to have a big bruiser to move the pile and convert in short yardage, remember this. The most effective 3rd down running back in the league in recent years has been Marshall Faulk, a quick-footed slasher of a back who was coached by Sean Payton and to whom Reggie Bush is most often compared by this regime. And there's no rule that says Reggie Bush must run the ball in short yardage. Last year he had 37 receptions, averaging nearly 13 yards per catch with 2 touchdowns on 4th and 1. How comfortable can he make Sean Payton on the sideline? How comfortable can he make the Saints defense on the bench, resting while a drive that might have been curtailed last year is continued this year? Yesterday, New Orleans welcomed Reggie Bush to the Big Easy, where no one is more into comfort than we. It could be a wonderful combination. Jim Henderson, 4th Down on 4.
More from Jim later in the show. USC quarterback Matt Leinart is quoted as saying of Reggie Bush, "Every time Reggie touches the ball, anything can happen. He's an awesome weapon." Former USC defensive lineman Sean Cody, no relation, says of Bush, "Practicing against him was great training for us. You want to improve your quickness, try chasing a rabbit around.
Big time. Yeah, I never thought that would happen. You know, I didn't think he'd get past that first pick, whether it was Houston or somebody trading up to get him. But the fact that he was there for us with that second pick was huge. We have a solid group and a great group of skilled guys on offense, and now it's just a matter of taking that offense, the new offense, putting it all together, and going and making it happen.
Well, the Saints' new quarterback sounds very happy to have Reggie Bush in the black and gold. What do others have to say about him? Find out before the break. Also, let's not forget that this was Sean Payton's first draft as a head coach. Does he like the way this weekend worked out for the franchise? Jim Henderson sits down with the Saints head man next.
And I'm Juan Kincaid.
Juan Kincaid on Channel 4's Eyewitness Sports.
Welcome back to Fourth Down. In his first day as the Saints head coach, Sean Payton sounded a lot like his old boss, Bill Parcells. He stressed the importance of having smart players, guys who didn't make mistakes. Jim Henderson sat down with Payton after the dust settled today to see if he made any mistakes over the weekend.
What did you learn from going through your first draft as a head coach in the NFL?
Well, you know, there's a lot that goes on in a fairly short period of time. You know, I've been fortunate enough to have been a part of 9 other drafts with other organizations, and so there's kind of an on-the-job training that goes with that as an assistant coach. And as a head coach, there might be a little bit more pull from different people, but overall we were pleased. Our group of scouts did a fantastic job. Rick Mueller, Rick Ruprecht, and Mickey Loomis. There was a lot of teamwork and certainly a lot of energy throughout the course of the draft, and it started with the first pick, and I think we did a good job at helping this team, but we'll find out.
What would have been this team's first-round philosophy if Reggie Bush had gone first to the Houston Texans yesterday?
You know, I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again now. For us to get into specifics about what our plan was, I'd rather not. I think that obviously we had a plan. We went through, you know, at number 2, there's a handful of scenarios, and I'll say this, we weren't planning on moving past that group of 4 or 5 good football players. Now, that group of 4 or 5 might vary by organization. It might have been 6 with some teams. But in our mind, we felt like and targeted a handful of players that we wanted to ensure we were going to get. And at number 2, we knew that we just had to love 2 players. And if we went to 3, we better love 3, et cetera. And so I think we took that approach, went through the scenarios. We covered a lot of different scenarios. In fact, the scenario of Reggie possibly dropping to us, and in fact that did happen, and then it became pretty easy.
Did the selection of Reggie influence you the rest of the draft or in the second day at all, the fact that you had Reggie Bush number 1?
No, I mean, I think we tried to look at our board, make sure that we had a grasp of position need as well as the grade on the player. And you know, for us it was more of let's find the best player as a chance to help this team immediately. Let's find guys that have good character. Let's find smart guys. Let's find guys that are highly motivated. And I think that message is something that we've tried to, as an organization, as a coaching staff from our scouting department, tried to carry through on any player we bring in here. I'm not interested in guys that I've got to hit in the back to get in the weight room, or I've got to stay on to be a part of our off-season program. And so our message and our main concern coming in is getting our type of guys, and we're in the midst of doing that. That's an ongoing process.
Of course, the whole key to the draft yesterday actually occurred in free agency when you signed Drew Brees.
We were going to try to make sure we put ourselves in a position to draft the best player and help the New Orleans Saints the best way we felt we could. Now, I think when Drew Brees became available, that changed for us then. Our strategy changed a little bit, and but prior to the combine, at the combine, you know, we were evaluating all our positions, with quarterback being an area that we wanted to address as well. So Drew kind of gave us a little bit more freedom or luxury, if you will, with that early pick, and I think that would be accurate. Now, to say that we would have taken a quarterback with the second pick would be hard to say.
We continue to hear trade rumors about some Saints veterans like Dante Stallworth and Dwight Smith. Is there anything to that?
I wouldn't comment on any of our players or any trade discussions because I don't think it's appropriate. But I think what's hard to keep track of from a standpoint outside our room is the truths and the untruths during this time of the year. You know, I've heard more draft news and more trade news, half of which isn't true. So, you know, anything we have to release, we would do at the appropriate time. But regarding our players and our guys here, we're excited about them. We're excited about this offseason.
The first chance to see the new rookies will come on the weekend of May 13th. Rookies and selected free agents, including Grambling's Bruce Eugene, who played at Cohen High School, will report on Friday, May 12th, with practices on Saturday and Sunday. Well, it was back in 1999 when the Indianapolis Colts traded away future Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk for the right to pick Edgerrin James. The move obviously paid off, and now the Colts fill LSU running back Joseph Adai can